Before we start on the scientific matters, I would like to introduce our new initiative. What it called is IM Research Consortium. This is stand for Indonesia, Malaysia Research Consortium. Just established last May this year. So please Google it, and I would like to invite you to be a member of this consortium. And when it is established in May, we already invite 33 universities from Indonesia and Malaysia. And Pak Noor is our former Ministry of Education. He is what we call is patron for this consortium. This is the Secretary General of Higher Education of Malaysia. And the second thing is that we have also the platform or journals, Malaysian Journal of Fundamental Applied Sciences, just indexed in the ISI, Commission Creditors. And this is the official journals of our research consortium. Please Google it and please submit your papers to these journals. Okay, so let me start. So we are working on the solid catalyst. This is an example. We synthesize particles with the amphiphilic surface, and also we synthesize some of the, what we call is core shell structure. It's a 12 polystyrene coated hollow titanium, and also titanium hollow sphere, and also well-aligned titanium composite, and also core shell structure, titanium, vinyl nanoparticle, microinsulated with isoporous ligand, and also the porous carbon-coated titanium. This is the examples of the amphiphilic particle. I think that this is quite clear. We synthesize the solid catalyst, that some part is hydrophobic and some part is hydrophilic. So that these catalysts have the amphiphilic characters, and if we put in the immiscible liquid ecosystem, they can locate at the phase boundary. And we confirm from the fluorescence microscope and also from optical microscope the amphiphilic character of this kind of the solid.
Yeah, I know, because
this is the second example. We also developed the new method to synthesize isoporous titanium by photo degradation of the surface temperature. So we mix the source of the titanium, that is alkyl silyl titanium isopropoxide with some surfactants. So we degrade the surfactant so that we can produce the porous titanium. Okay? Yeah. And this is another example that we produce the hollow titanium sphere. The next example is that the polystyrene coated hollow titanium. So this is the catalyst that can float on the liquid because the density is lower than 1. This means that if you put this in the organic, in the liquid phase, they can float. It's floating catalyst. We are also working on the core shell structure. This is titanium vinyl coated silica. We also change the functional group. This is the phenols, these thiophenols. We confirm the TEM. And also the examples of the well-aligned titanium dioxide. This is very unique because we synthesize this kind of materials with assisting with the magnetic field. This is another examples. Another examples. is a titanium oxide coated with a porous carbon. And also, this is another examples of the fiber room slides of titanium dioxide. Okay, our focus is in the search of the best heterogeneous solid patterns. Yeah? So we need to correlate between the structure, activity, and also the selectivity in the heterogeneous catalyst. So if you know that the mechanism of the heterogeneous catalyst, this is the catalyst surface. Yeah? So the first step in the catalytic process is the adsorption. Without adsorption, the catalytic process doesn't start. The next step is a chemical reaction at the catalytic active site at the surface of the solid catalyst. And the third step is the desorption. So the issue is that how we can improve the efficiency of the adsorption and chemical reaction and desorption in this catalytic cycle process. This is the main issue in our research project. And the second thing is that how to design the catalytic active site. This is the two main issues in our research, in our group. Okay, this is the classification is in my group of the sum of qualification of our research. But I am now focusing on this phase boundary catalysis. Second, in the photocatalysis, some of the challenge in the photocatalysis by titanium dioxide. And the third is that the new approach to synthesize materials with magnetic fields. Okay, this is the example of our phase boundary catalysis. This is what we call is the faulting catalysis. If you look at this picture, we have the two phases. Yeah? We have the acute phase, we have the gas phase. So I asked my student to design the catalyst that can float on the surface of the liquid phase. Yeah? So this is a strategy. Yeah? So we start with the sucrose first. And we transform the sucrose into the carbon speed by hydrothermal synthesis. Yeah? So I asked my student to make the carbon speed as big as possible. We add the surfactants, we control some of parameters, and then after that, we coat this carbon spear with the titanium. And when we remove the carbon, we can produce what we call is hollow titanium. Yeah? Hollow titanium have the form. Yeah? And the next step, we coat with the polystyrene. So now we produce what we call is polystyrene coated hollow titanium. If we put in the liquid phase, they can float because the density is lower compared to the liquid phase. This is the EM and PSEM image of the hollow titanium. You can see here is the diameter around 1.4 micrometers and wall thickness around 100 nanometers, 170 nanometers. And also we observe some of the particle is not float in the liquid phase because there is a crack and it can sink on the bottom of the tube. But we cannot use this kind of the solid because there is no active site. Yeah? There is no active site. If we use as a heterogeneous catalyst, we need to put the active site. So we put the gold as the active site, and we test the reaction, gas phase reaction, the oxidation of the benzyl alcohol with oxygen to produce a benzoic acid. But the problem is that the catalyst is not so active. Why? Because when we check in the XPS, we know that the most active species for the gold with the silver is at silver 0. But from the XPS we can see that the silver 0 is not, so the amount is not much. Yeah. Okay, now we go to the next topics about some challenge in the titanium dioxide photocatalysis. Why titanium dioxide? Is number one, because they have the photostability. Number two, it has the superior oxidation ability. In number three is that availability. And number four, it's not poisonous and natural. So some of you know that what the mechanism of the titanium dioxide photocatalysis. You can see that here there is a band gap between the valence band and the conduction band. There is a band gap. So in the valence band there is an electron. Yeah? Fill the peace band, and there is no electron at conduction band. But if you irradiate, yeah, by UV light, you can eject the electron from valence band to conduction band. But the problem is that there is a recombination process. Yeah? The electron and hole can recombine. That is the problem in the photocatalysis field. How to reduce, how to avoid this recombination process, because we need to use the electron as the reduction active site and hole as the oxidation site. So this is a problem, yeah, the recombination process, because we need, if we avoid this recombination process, we can efficiently use the electron hole for the chemical reaction. So some of the researchers believe that the titanium dioxide with the high crystallinity can prevent the recombination process. And number two, high surface area. Is it true or not? That is still debate until now. So please look at these three examples. Number one is an example of oxidation of aldehyde, alcohol, methanol. Yeah, and in this reaction is number two is a crystallinity. Number one is crystallinity. Number two is surface. In this reaction, the titanium must have high crystallinity and high surface area, and the phase must be combination between or mix between anatase and glucose in order to have good photocatalytic reaction. So please look at the second examples. Yeah? This oxidation of the oxygen by using titanium, and in this kind of the reaction, the crystallinity is more important compared to the surface area. Surface area is not a critical factor in this kind of reaction. Yeah? And the phase must be rutile in order to have a good photocatalytic activity. This is also the example in number 3. It's a reduction of water. Yeah, you can see here the surface area play a important role compared to the crystallinity, and the phase is anatase, is how to say, affects the photocatalytic activity. So from these examples, you can see that still we do not know what is the main factors, what the general criteria in order to have good photocatalytic activity. Is still debate until now. So the same challenge in titanium photocatalysis is mean that, number one, to prove the predominant properties determining the photocatalytic activity. Is it a specific surface area? Is it density of the crystalline defect size? Is it the primary particle size? Is it the secondary particle size? Is it the existence of the anatase orbital phase? And also, number two is that the clarifications and also the interpretation of the formation of the electron hole in the photocatalysis. And also the last thing is that how does the shape of photocatalysis affect the photocatalytic? This is the challenge. We need to, how to say, explore to solve the problem. So I collaborate with Thomas Dietrich from Helmholtz-Zentrum Berlin. So I visited Helmholtz-Zentrum Berlin last year. And Thomas Dietrich is the person who promotes the surface photovoltaic spectrometry. They have homemade surface spectroscopy in his lab. So we try to answer some of the questions about the band gap and the relationship with the electron and hole illumination by using surface photovoltaic spectroscopy. So I brought my sample from Malaysia to Berlin. So the first samples is that the hollow titanium. The second sample and third sample is gold coated titanium and silver coated titanium. So we have the hollow titanium. We put the metals outside and inside. This is outside of hollow titanium and inside of the hollow titanium. Why we need to put some kind of the metals inside and outside? We need to prove that. Because we know that the metals act as scavengers to capture the electron. And if we put inside the hollow, there is no leaching of the metals during the photocatalytic reaction. This is some image of the catalyst we synthesized in our lab. It's very nice, shape, and this is the amount of the metals. This is the picture of the Thomas Dietrich. This is the surface photovoltaic spectroscopy. This is the spectroscopy. This is very interesting. So we run the samples by SPV, surface photovoltaic spectrometry. This is the photon energy. This is the photovoltage. And our samples we run with the XRD, the phase is anatase. But surprisingly, if we determine the band gap of our anatase, the band gap is very close to Rutal. Because we know that the band gap of the anatase 3.2 electron volts, Rutal is 3 electron volts. But by this technique, surprisingly, we observe that the band gap of our anatase is similar to rutile. This is number one.
Professor, not you have 5 minutes remaining.
And number two is that there is the electronic transition below the band gap. Yeah? So why this is happening? And I asked my student to send the FDR data. So after I look at the FDR, we can see some of the carbon in our titanium. This is maybe the reason why the band gap is shifting, yeah, to the lower energy. Yeah. So this is the review article published in the International Journal of Photo Energy, the effect of the carbon doping. And the second thing is that from the SPV, we can also correlate with the defect side, yeah, with the crystallinity. Yeah, this is if we can see that here, the crystallinity decrease, the defect size decrease, and we can see that the photocatalytic activity is also decreased. But we need some of the support from the theoreticals. Yeah? So we do the theoretical calculations. This is Siti Hajar, is my PhD student, produced. This is the computational details. We use the ab initio molecular orbital calculations. The hypothesis is that why the band gap of the anatase is almost similar to rutile is number one due to the presence of the carbon. Number two is maybe due to the distortion of the anatase phase. Yeah, this is the models. Yeah, this is the models. So this is the methods we use. These methods. So we can see that if we distort the structure of the anatase, we can see here the band gap of the anatase is reduced. This is confirms that why the band gap of our anatase is reduced. Yeah. And the second thing that maybe the presence of the carbon also affect the band gap energy. And we put in our models is the carbons, and we can also see that the decreasing of the band gap after we put the carbon in these models. Okay? Okay, this is, I think that I will show you how to make the well-aligned titanium dioxide biomagnetic fields. It's very fast. So we are already successful to synthesize titanium dioxide by assisting by the magnetic fields. Very simple experiment. We use our NMR magnet. So we have surfactants, water and alcohol, and also the source of the titanium. This is alkyl, yeah, tetrabutyl octotitanoate. We put in magnetic fields and we open dry this system. We control the parameters, the mixture, geometry of sample, and also the tank alcohol in order to control the hydrolysis time and also the strength of the magnetic fields. This one is with surfactant or no magnet. This is with surfactant in magnet. You can see that here there is the alignment. But if we slow the hydrolysis, we can see that here the more well aligned of the titanium dioxide. And we increase the magnetic fields, you can see that the well-aligned titanium dioxide was really straighter. Yeah? It's a more compact and closer aligned. But the problem is that we still do not know why this is happening. Yeah? We check with the cross-polarization magic angle spinning NMR, there is a difference in terms of the peak of the carbon NMR, but still we cannot answer this question, why? they can align. Yeah, maybe we can have the collaboration to solve this problem, but I don't know that maybe the presence of the electron hole pair, they can increase the magnetic sustainability. This is just a hypothesis. Okay? And lastly, I would like to thank my university and also some of the Ministry of Higher Education to support me with the research. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.